Okay, this is problem number 1. Mason earns $8 for each hour he tutors, plus $12 to cover any personal expenses. So for this problem, we're looking at a cost equation. We're comparing Mason as well as Pearson. So the first thing we're going to do is write an equation for Mason. It says $8 for each hour. So anytime you see the word each, it's talking about a rate or slope. Plus another $12, so that's going to be our y-intercept. So just Mason's equation is going to be y equals 8 times x plus 12. Then we go on and read the second sentence. Pearson earns $4 for each hour he tutors, plus 36 to cover personal expenses. $4 for each, that means that's the slope, and 36 is the additional fee. So Pearson's equation, y equals 4x plus 36. Now our question goes on and it says at a certain point Mason and Pearson are going to work the same number of hours and earn the same amount of money. At this point, how much money will each person earn? So our question is, how much money will each person earn? Mason earns $8 for every hour plus $12 to cover personal expenses. Pearson earns $4 for every hour plus 36 to cover personal expenses. So we want to know when they work the same number of hours and make the same amount. We could use the transitive property to set these equal to each other, or we could use a table. So first I'm going to show you how to use transitive property. 8x plus 12 equals 4x plus 36. If we're solving for x, we need to get like terms together, so subtract 4x from both sides. Those cancel. You're left with 4x plus 12 equals 36. Now move the constant to the other side, so subtract 12 from both sides. These cancel. You're left with 4x equals 24. The last thing we do here is divide by 4. So x is equal to 6. Now what does x stand for in our problem? This was 8 times x. 8 for each hour. So x is the hours. This means 6 hours. So we're going to have to plug that into either one of these equations, whichever one you want to use. So I would probably pick Mason's equation. So we've got y equals 8 times 6 plus 12. 8 times 6 is 48. 48 plus 12 is equal to 60. So y, or the cost, equals $60. And it should be the same if you were to plug it in over here at Pearson's, D. Alright, one way we could check this is with a table. So I'm going to start with Mason, and I'm going to let this be the number of hours he works, and this be the amount of money he earns in dollars. So if he works 1 hour, it says he gets paid $8 every hour, so that's 8, 1 hour, and $12. So his total after an hour would be $20. If he works 2 hours, $8 for each hour, so that's 8 times 2, plus his $12, so 16 plus 12 would be $28. If he works 3 hours, that's the same thing as 8 times 3 plus 12, which would be 24 plus 12, or 36. And we could continue in this way until we get to 6. Here we have 8 hours, $8 an hour, times 6 hours plus 12, and we get $60. We could also continue that for Pearson as well. The last thing I want to talk about is just making sense of your problem and your answer. If Mason earns $8 for every hour he works plus 12, then would there ever be a point where he earns $6? Even if he worked in half an hour, that's $4 plus $12 for his personal expenses. Would he work 36? Well, maybe. Does 10 seem reasonable? Probably not. So we've at least eliminated two choices. Then we could look at Pearson. Pearson gets $4 for every hour, but he starts with 36. So even if he works 1 hour, he's going to make more than 36. So the only reasonable solution for this problem would be D.